Hello and good afternoon to everyone. My name is Lisa Hawke and my flash talk for today's summit is on preparing for an incident or data breach response. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First, why is it important to think about incident and breach response ahead of time? Mainly because the threats are real for small businesses. According to the 2020 Verizon Data Breach Investigations report, both small and large organizations face the top threat action of phishing. And now, more than ever, due to the proliferation of cloud adoption, including software as a service tools, small businesses are facing the same challenges from a security standpoint as large businesses. So having your game plan in place and testing it before an incident or breach happens will make responding to the real thing much more efficient and help you reduce any additional chaos during your response. So what are some concrete actions that you can take to prepare? The first is making sure that you have an information security policy written down and shared with your team. This is where you can document security requirements for your employees, as well as other security controls that you have in place. Both of these might help prevent an incident from occurring in the first place. Now, there are lots of good templates out there, but make sure that if you use one, that you customize it to reflect your business. As part of this process, determine whether you have any compliance requirements, whether they be due to frameworks that your business has adopted, such as SOC 2 or ISO 27001, or other laws and regulations that apply to your company from a cybersecurity or breach perspective. Next is documenting an incident response plan. This could be an appendix or an attachment to your information security policy or a standalone document. But the key point is that a specific plan for how you intend to handle potential security incidents can help you respond in a way that supports quick action and not panic. There are a few important things to consider and include in your plan. One is determining some basic definitions to help guide what happens during a response. For example, going back to the Verizon Data Breach Investigations report, they define incident versus breach to put the data in context. So if you look at that report, they define an incident as a security event that compromises the integrity, confidentiality, or availability of an information asset. This is contrasted to a breach, which is defined as an incident that results in the confirmed disclosure, not just potential exposure, of data to an unauthorized party. The next step is to lay out roles and responsibilities so that you can assemble your response team. This applies to the folks in security who may be the ones taking the lead in an incident, but it's also important to define how other subject matter experts will be involved. So this includes your technical incident response team, which will likely consist of individuals on both your security and engineering teams. When you're evaluating your internal technical resource, it's also a good time to think about whether it makes sense to retain any third-party incident support. Depending on the size and complexity of your business, your type of business, and your customer base, retaining an incident support or forensic firm in advance might be a good idea. Two other areas that are important to define in the plan are legal and communication support. Legal can help you define a list to keep on hand of important third-party contacts to be used to report a security incident, such as law enforcement, relevant government departments, and third-party vendors. From a communication standpoint, you will need to determine what information can be shared internally and also potentially externally, if needed, about an incident or breach. Finally, all of the work that goes into writing down your security policy and your response plan is what will prepare you when it's time to road test the plan. If you do all the documentation work, but then never test it, it's sort of like buying a new tool, say like an awesome chef's knife, but then not using it because you don't want to dull it. You bought it to make your life easier though, right? So the same goes for incident response. Start with a tabletop scenario and work up from there. Make sure you involve everyone on the team who has a role, no matter how small. This will not only greatly increase your ability to respond efficiently and effectively, but it's also a great team building exercise. So I want to say thanks to everyone for attending my flash talk. Here is a list of resources and references that I hope help you in your quest to become prepared for incident and data breach response. So screenshot away, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the summit. Thanks again very much.